Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. I'm going to go straight to Paul Carroll. He's a regular contributor on The Price of Business, and delighted always to have him on the program. Usually he has a great guest on, and you've been bringing fantastic guests on. I appreciate the stories you've been bringing. And we have, in fact, the producers here at The Price of Business have been doing some research about some other great woodland stories that we've sent to you. I'm sure those will be developed as well. But today we're going to talk about the topic of real estate, and you're going to bring your perspective because, in fact, I know you're working with a lot of people in that arena there in the Woodlands area. Paul, tell us a little bit about yourself, just for the listener not familiar with you, and about your practice, and then let's jump into the topic. Welcome.
Well, thank you so much. Good morning, Kevin. We're, of course, Fisher Wealth Management. It's a boutique wealth management firm based here in the Woodlands, Texas. We help our clients protect their wealth, but also mitigate their taxes, take care of their heirs, protect their assets from being unjustly taken, and maximize the impact of charitable giving if that's important to them. And today I'd like to talk a little bit, if I could, about what's going on here. It's the Exxon Mobil Effect. It's amazing what's happening to the Woodlands as this campus is approaching completion.
Yeah, absolutely. It's incredible. It's not just a local story. It's not even a Texas story. It is a national story. You can't turn on a TV, it seems like, for any extended period of time, in Texas at least, without hearing more about it. It is phenomenal.
It's interesting. Exxon Mobil, initially we're going to be bringing in 10,000 people. Now it's actually, and they're bringing them to a campus. The campus is going to be the size of a small city on about 385 acres. If you've driven up I-45, you'll see the cranes. It's right about where the new outer loop is crossing I-45. So the amount of economic development that's going on there is just incredible. Office buildings are being built around the campus for just support businesses. The 10,000 number is already wrong. I think we're looking at 14,012 to the campus. And they've even rented out one of the Hughes Landing buildings up against Lake Woodlands for an additional 2,000 employees.
Wow.
So, interestingly enough, we would think, how long is it going to take to build and fill this complex? It's already full. They haven't even finished it, and they've already filled it.
Yeah, so they're already going to be looking for further expansion, probably shortly after completion.
That's correct. And as I said, they've already pre-construction leased one of the entire Hughes Landing buildings, and will be looking for other properties in the area. It's quite interesting what's going on there, and of course, it's substantially affected the real estate market in the Woodlands.
I bet it has, and I bet it's been not only the real estate market, but even the retail that will support those new employees. It's probably great opportunities for financial consultants like yourself, people in other forms of business and personal consulting. I mean, it's probably an incredible ripple effect and probably a tidal wave in a lot of different areas.
It is closer to a tsunami. We're, of course, very fortunate because our focus is energy executives and entrepreneurs. We're figuring there'll be a few new executives moving in, and it's really affecting the real estate market in the mid-range and the high range. I think the hardest, the greatest shortfall right now is in the $250,000 to $500,000 house, where basically a lot of mid-career engineers would be living in houses like that. There's huge shortage of that. Just the inventory is measured in weeks, not months.
So let me ask you. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask you, first of all, what range did you say that was?
About the 250 to about 500,000 there's an extreme shortage. You go below 250, it's not so there's still a shortage. You go above 500,000, there's still a very low inventory level. But once you get to those higher price ranges, it does take a little bit longer to move the properties.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you, though, has places like Carroll become a beneficiary of that?
Absolutely. There's been a lot of, and actually 1488, north of the Woodlands going west towards Montgomery, that's exploding out in that direction. The Woodlands west, the Woodlands southwest, those areas are exploding. And at the higher nosebleed territory levels, the East Shore area and Carlton Woods, those things are doing very well right now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really quite a phenomenon to watch, and people wonder what kind of impact something like this can have. It's gonna be long lasting, and I'm guessing, I hadn't seen numbers for sure, but I'm guessing the Montgomery County has to be now one of the fastest growing counties in the country.
I believe that's a true statement. It's the top 2 or 3 in the entire country. It depends on the criteria. Some criteria is even number 1. It's very fortunate what's happening here in the Montgomery County area. And there's a lot of, as you said, ancillary wealth being created, a lot of small businesses, a lot of large businesses moving additional people. There's an interesting phenomenon that comes on in any industry, and we see it in tech, we see it in energy, and that is the more people you have who are senior engineers, highly skilled, clustered in a tight area, the greater the value it is to bring other companies to come in, because there's cross-pollination of ideas. Mm-hmm. And though we think though we are in a very technological era, people still meet at bars, at lunch, they talk, they run into each other, and that cross-pollination effect has clearly hit the Woodlands area, and it's proven to be a very strong draw for other energy companies.
Yeah, I would venture that even someone like Magnolia, a place like Magnolia, has even seen a boom growth that they probably didn't even want. Places like Magnolia seem to want to stay small. Now, I'm wondering if they're like going, what the heck, when they look outside their window.
That's almost like the story of Austin 20 years ago. The more you want to stay small, and the more you protect a wonderful environment, the more likely you're going to fail. Austin just didn't want people. They liked, being the People's Republic of Texas, and enjoyed their
weird.
Sort of,
they want to be weird, yeah,
renegade status, and of course that proved to be very attractive. And now, if you've tried driving in Austin, you know how successful the city's become, and it's also become very difficult to navigate.
Paul Carroll, I've got to wrap it up. He's with EfficientWealthManagement.com. Great segment. Final thought, and we have about 30 seconds.
Well, it's just a brilliant time. If you want to buy a house, you might want to think about doing it now or renting, because right now there's an arc. That trajectory's still heading up. Of course, at some point, construction will catch up. Property values are very fully valued now, but unfortunately will become more expensive before they come back to earth.
Yeah, absolutely. Paul Carroll, again, EfficientWealthManagement.com. As always, thanks for your time.
Thank you so much, Kevin.
When we come back, much more for you. I do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at USDataReview.com. While they're liking on Facebook, follow it on Twitter.